loves, I hope you guys are having an amazing, gorgeous, abundant day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about Steven Universe. This is not like anything I've ever done before, and I may do more of these. Who cares, right? I'm in a place where I'm living in the present moment and I'm not thinking about what's to come. I'm just do whatever the hell I want. And today I want to talk about Steven Universe and why y'all need to chill on rose quartz. I said it, and I'm gonna do it, okay? So if you want to tune into this video and figure why I am such a rose quartz stan and like my perspective on it since I'm rewatching Steven Universe, stay tuned to this video. Make sure you give it a big like, thumbs up if you want more, okay? So here's my perspective, right? First of all, Steven Universe as a whole, I'm pretty sure, like, I personally think this series is a critique and a look on how different perspectives play in other people's life, right? And everybody is a villain in someone's story. And I feel like a lot of y'all missed that when it came to like figuring out like Rose Quartz and who she is and everything she's done, as we also looked at the other characters and what they've done and looked at their past. You see what I'm saying? And so whenever I think about like how the characters even in the show treat Rose and her, you know, legacy, I'm like, responsibility needs to be taken. First and foremost, right? First and foremost, 2, chill out. 3, how are y'all ignoring her pain because y'all are bigger? So it's like, when I kept watching this, I had such a visceral reaction to like how they were treating Rose, like blaming her for every single thing that has happened, literally disregarding her pain and her trauma and her abuse, not even looking into her background and understanding it. But they will do that for everybody else. They will understand everybody else's background. They will try to save everybody else. They'll understand like certain things that happened in their life was wrong, but they can change now. But Rose was not afforded that. That was weird to me. That was very, very weird to me. And so let's go down the line, right? Let's go down the line. First, we think about Steven. The only person or 2 people I feel like who shouldn't get that much flack is Steven, of course, right? And Garnet. Garnet is probably like the only one who is chill and not completely fucking like a horrible freaking person. So for Garnet especially, whenever she used to get mad about what Rose did, I'm like, girl, I love Garnet, but I feel like she's an attention seeker. She is. Every time she used to split up, it was never that serious for you to be splitting up. Like, okay, for example, the one that is recently stuck on my mind is when they found out that Rose was actually pinkdiamond, and they was like, what Rose told us was a lie, and she said, we're the answer. And I'm like, if you knew Rose, could you not sense the sincerity in her voice? And I feel like Rose was definitely sincere because she was a changed person, right? And she's changing and she's transforming. We're gonna get back on that, right? But Garnet was like, oh, she told us we're the answer. And I was listening and I was like, Garnet, first of all, when y'all met her, y'all was fused already. Y'all was already fused. She didn't tell y'all anything. She gave y'all permission. She gave y'all the courage to stay that way. Y'all already wanted to be that way. So it's like, I feel like maybe the artist or the author did not meant to do that. And I'm gonna call out the author for one, because I feel like the author did not mean it to be interpreted this way, but they wrong. I said it, they wrong. But first of all, Garnet, no one told you that you had to do that. She gave y'all courage, she gave y'all permission. Maybe it was a loaded question, and also maybe, you know, she did do it for her selfishness and her benefit. I'm not going to deny that Rose was, you know, wasn't selfish, or was selfish, however you want to see it. But she was genuinely like, yes, you are the answer. And that gave you the courage, that gave you the foundation to transform and create your life when the foundation was already there. Like, the way I see it was like, okay, that was Ruby and Sapphire. They had their foundation because they was already changing and trying to be exactly who they are. Then here comes Rose saying, hey, give permission, right? And then everything else built off of that, that was absolutely them, right? And of course, we don't really know, right? Because I don't know if, they should do like a series on like their time together so we can really get the full story. But this time, like, yes, they were really encouraged by her words and stuff, but like that was all them. Literally, whenever they used to come together and they talk and they laugh, and it was all of them, and I saw it. Their love was pure. And so whenever they start to question themselves about their love, I'm like, did y'all not see how the fuck y'all were acting? Y'all in love. Nobody's taking that from y'all, not even Rose. So what are you talking about? So that's what kind of blew me with that aspect, because I'm like, Garnet. And then went through that whole episode. I know they did that whole episode so we can go to the wedding. And I loved it. Thank you. Hell, thank the fuck you. But I was also like, that didn't need to be an episode. Or if it was an episode, there was some sense of responsibility and like some other drama, because like saying, oh, Rose, you know, lied to us, etc., etc. Come on. Come the fuck on. Come the fuck on. She's a diamond. She was already weird as fuck from all the other diamonds. And y'all think that she's a liar? It's shit like that. It's shit like that. And that's why I said this whole series is about perspective and changing your perspective. That's why I say this whole series is about that, because I'm like, motherfuckers are going to believe whatever they want to believe. They're going to assume whatever they want to assume, and then they're going to blame you for whatever they assume. So that was like one thing that really just kind of blew me and pissed me off when it came to like Rose. And let's talk about some villainous acts, because everybody want to act like Rose was the only one going crazy and going nuts, especially in the show. Like, oh my god, everybody's blaming Rose. I'm like, I'm about to jump everywhere because I'm getting irritated. I'm like, okay, first of all, if Rose didn't do what she did, albeit it wasn't perfect. You can never be perfect when you're trying to change. Okay, it's never supposed to be perfect. And that was her turning into a human. That was her she wasn't a human, but she was doing human shit. You're not going to be perfect when you're trying to create change and you're trying to go from the norm. I view Rose as the black sheep, period. Across all boards. Because here's the thing, people think people are supposed to be the perfect victim. Rose is not the perfect victim. None of them, it's proven in the show that none of them are the perfect victim. They did some shit, probably Garnet. Okay? Steven definitely did some shit because he's human. So he's not the perfect victim. A lot of shit isn't his fault though, of course. Okay, I had to step off, I had to regroup because I knew where I was. But like I said, if Rose didn't do what she did, they would not exist in the ways that they are. She was the catalyst, and I feel like a lot of them are forgetting that she was the catalyst for war. She was the catalyst for change and transformation. No matter how she did it wrong, the mistakes she made, the people she hurt, because you're going to do that sometimes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to hurt other people. It's not going to be perfect. But that doesn't take away from the fact that she inspired that change, and y'all was able to get to this space in this time because of what she has done and what she has sacrificed. She was a fucking pink diamond. Now, I wouldn't be who she was because the diamonds are on some shit. I would not do what like I can't even like confidently say, oh, I wouldn't, you know, leave my life as a pink diamond behind to be rose quartz. Absolutely no, hell yeah, I would. You're locking me up for years. You're locking me up for years and I can't eat, even though I don't need to eat, but I can't eat for years. You're playing with me right now. You yelling at me and you disregarding me, and you're shooting down my self-esteem, and then you're always getting pissed off at me. And I'm supposed to be sane? Like I'm supposed to be like emotionally, physically, spiritually regulated? Do you think that would absolutely fucking happen? No. And so like, I would leave Pink Diamond. I would not want to become Pink Diamond, not just for myself and feeling, you know, put in a box, but for everybody around me. And people were like, oh, she's selfish and she wasn't thinking about other people. She was. And when you look back at all the times in the flashbacks when she was like, oh, I want to change, I want to grow, she was trying to bring people along. Very Saber complex type T. She was trying to bring people along. She was trying to do it. She just was not enough. And I think people need to understand it, especially them in the fucking show. They needed to understand that she was not enough for the change. That's why Steven is here. Because he was enough. Because he was human. Because he knew how to navigate that. Because he kept showing grace and he kept showing patience. He really is his mom, but better. And that's what needed to happen in order for what Rose wanted to happen. And not only do people who talk about this and offer the perspective don't see that, but even in the show they don't see that. I'm like, yo, if Rose didn't do half the shit she did, you wouldn't even be here, Steven. You wouldn't even met Greg. You wouldn't even met the crystal gems. The crystal gems wouldn't even be free. They would still be in that toxic cycle. Somebody had to break it, and albeit it was not perfect, but she broke it. Right? Did she broke it in the wrong way? I personally think no. And the only reason why I say no, because if we think about everything she has gone through, everything she has learned and grew up with, of course she's going to go that route. She's not going to know any other way because she's an alien and she's not human. Like she's talk about humans, right? We're always changing. We always see different possibilities and avenues. She even admit to herself that she could not see that. Garnet, yes, she sees the future. She can see the different avenues, but again, she's an alien. They're not going to be able to understand like There's different probabilities, and throughout the show, it's like little, I forgot what you call them, Easter eggs. It's like little Easter eggs trying to point you to the conclusion that Rose was not enough because she was simply not human. She could not see all the avenues, and she could only work with what she had. And of course there were sacrifices because it was war. Of course there were, you know, wrong mistakes made because she was a leader, and everybody was idealizing that girl. Do you know how it feels to be idealized? That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of motherfucking pressure. That's a lot of attitude, a lot of mental instability and stuff, even as she is rose quartz. That was her lot in life. So when you are a leader and when you're alluring and you're magnetic, you need to figure out how the fuck to manage it so you can be better. And I personally think that all of the diamonds, she was the perfect one. She did leadership as the best she could, and of course she hurt people. Of fucking course she hurt people, but the rest of them did too. And that's what was pissing me off. Like Garnet, I feel like she did not hurt anybody. I don't know. I'm still watching stevenuniversefuture, so I may have some other like comments as I watch this, and I'll do a whole nother video if I do. But Garnet rarely ever did anything. You know, the only person she would probably hurt is Ruby and Sapphire, and it's just because they're dramatic and attention seeking. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call it a spade. Every time they're just so dramatic, even though I love them. Right? If you want some drama, they can come in. Pearl, oh, asshole from the ground up. First of all, you knew Rose. I feel like Rose to me is kind of poly. She's kind of poly. I feel like she knew that Rose could not be bogged down, and yeah, she could be bogged down by Greg, yes. But I'm like, you know Rose. And me personally, if I rose Rose, I would, you know, reciprocate the love Pearl gave because she was there all the time. I'm definitely a childhood friend. I'm a childhood fan fanatic. I am. So personally, I think Rose made the wrong call. But again, if Rose did not make the call she did, Steven would not be here. We would not have this series. You see what I'm saying? But with Pearl, like, she did so many fucked up shit. I don't know why she keep blaming Rose. Like, you are your own person. You're grown. You're grown as fuck. All of them grown as fuck besides Steven. Stop blaming the diamond. Stop blaming her. Right? And I feel like that's why she tried to left, because y'all always play. Stop blaming her. Y'all did that. You decided to drag on Greg and whip his ass because he fell in love with Rose. Greg rarely did anything besides that one thing, and we're gonna talk about it. Greg rarely did anything, but he was the villain in Pearl's story. He was probably the villain in Amethyst and Garnet's story, but I don't remember because, you know, they act like, you know, they don't care because they probably didn't care. But in Pearl's story, he was definitely the villain. And that should even lead you towards even more so, like, perspective is shitty. It can be shitty, and it's all about perspective and how you're looking at things and how you're viewing things. Because all Greg did was fall in love with a diamond, with a rose quartz, and he was about to be nailed at the stake for it because Pearl wanted her. And Pearl, she is not wrong for feeling how she feels. Y'all, they need therapists. That's all they need. They need therapists. They need therapists to call them out on their shit. Because when I was watching this, I was like, Pearl, I know you're not blaming her when you know her, for one. Two, she does not have to fall in love with you because you was by her side. She can show you gratitude, which I feel like she has. She's been showing Pearl gratitude. She can show you gratitude for everything you've done. She can acknowledge everything you've done, but that doesn't mean it has to be rewarded with romantic love. And I feel like the people who be critiquing that need to understand that. That's weird. That is very weird. Oh, you brought me on my darkest time, etc., etc. I'm gonna reward that with, you know, romantic love. No, she rewarded Pearl with her freedom and with the ability to be her lifelong companion and friend. And I think that's beautiful in itself. But no, y'all wanna fucking suck. Y'all just horny as hell. Like, relax. Y'all don't always have to do that. Y'all don't always have to do that. You see what I'm saying? So I hate that that's right there. But that blew me in its way because I'm like, Pearl, you doing too much. Now, I still have to watch the movie. Again, I watched these all years ago, so I don't remember like a lot of things. So I still have to watch the movie and, you know, future universe to the point where Pink or, you know, Rose Quartz did some horrible shit. To that point, get them. But here's the thing though. We're on the outside looking in. They are the ones finding out all about this. And so that's why I'm not too much on it. I am on the ass right now. But I'm not going to be too much on it because, like, if I'm going to find out something, like my mom wasn't everything I cracked her up to be, that would suck, and I would have to go through a couple of years of healing. I agree. But the way they're going about it is pissing me off, because I'm like, it's not like they didn't have context as to why she was doing the shit she was doing, right? Does it excuse it? In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. Like, for example, what she did to her diamond before pearl, that is not excusable to me, right? But when you look at it in an objective point of view, that's just like their community. That's just how it was rolling. See what I'm saying? So it's like, that was normal for them. And they were not on the outside looking in. They were inside on the inside. So that's what happened. But inevitably, they hurted each other, and Pearl has to heal from that. And that sucks, right? And we don't take that responsibility from Pink and from Rose Quartz, because that's exactly what she did. Maybe she ran away from some of the stuff. I don't remember, right? But the fact that she was changing, because she realized eventually that's fucking wrong. Something is wrong. That's more than a lot of people who've been in toxic homes and toxic households and toxic space do. But like, I'm like, relax on her. Because yes, she did a lot of horrible things. I'm pretty sure she did something in a movie too, and because she left that pink thing on an island, but I forgot. I gotta watch that. That was wrong too. Pink Diamond was definitely an asshole, yes. But Rose Quartz was changing and transforming. And she's going to make mistakes. She's not going to be perfect. And I feel like it's the fault of the rest of them for putting her on a pedestal. Okay? And you know, when you're a leader, you need to lead. But she was teaching them as well, and how to like do your own thing, be your own thing. Don't come to me. Don't come to me. Don't try to do this, that, and the third for me, because I am not what you make me out to be. And she kept telling them that. She kept saying, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Get off of me. They don't listen. So it's like, I feel like in a way, the reason why they're hurting like this is because they would not take her off that pedestal. And I feel like this whole series was a journey of them learning, hey, she was just like us. And I feel like that's the way it should have went, instead of being like, oh, she's horrible and she's beneath us. I'm like, no, she was just trying to tell you, like, pearls and diamonds are the fucking same. That was probably like one of her, her missives, or her intentions behind everything she's done. She was like, y'all are the same, but also like Earth, she loves Earth. So the fact that they didn't even come to that conclusion, and I don't know if they came to that conclusion in stevenuniversefuture, and I don't know why Rebecca didn't write that. Like, come on, man. Come to that conclusion. That would be like the best thing ever. Learning and recognizing that, oh, Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz are exactly like me, are exactly like Pearl, exactly like Garnet, exactly like rubies and sapphires. They're not perfect. They're supposed to be. They're diamonds, right? They can never break, but that's not the case. That is not true. But I hate that they didn't go that route, and instead just decided to just blame her and blame her and blame her. I'm like, y'all are like kids, like big ass grown ass kids. But at the same time, they're processing everything they've gone through, and this is the best way to process it. I think I would like love the series even more than I love it, this much. I would love the series even more if I saw them on screen come to that conclusion. Like, Rose is perfect by human standards. So like, I'm watching Steven Universe, right? And so he's learning more about his mom, and of course, and it sucks, right? Because you're learning all of these bad things that seemingly drowns out the good, that seemingly drowns out like what she does for you. So he's like putting up the paintings and stuff. I'm like, I don't like that, because Steven, this is my bone that I pick with Steven. That's why I'm like, Steven, the bone that I pick with Steven is like, everybody, he can give everybody else grace and patience, but because he holds his mom in such high regard, he doesn't see her as like a person or a human like he sees other fucking diamonds. You gave White Diamond reprieve. White fucking Diamond, she literally pulled out your diamond with her nails, but she gets to chill with you and hang with you, but not your mom. And I think it's because his mom is dead, and his mom cannot come back and, you know, answer for the stuff she's done. But I feel like in a way she has already answered for the shit that she has done. I'm sorry, like, come on now. Like, and what's so funny to me is like, White Diamond, Blue Diamond, Yellow Diamond, they didn't answer for the shit they did. They just stopped doing it. And they went on, and then Steven was like, okay, aunties, that's not fucking fair. That's why I'm blowed. That's why I'm mad, because I'm like, Steven, you playing with me. Jasper? Steven is going over there, kissing. Leave Jasper alone. Leave Jasper, always trying to save somebody. But you don't want to save your mom, or you don't want to give that grace and that patience to your mom. And you know, and I only say give the grace and patience to his mom because his mom was actively changed. His mom was the reason why he was here. His mom is the reason why, like, Earth is here. Earth is living and thriving. She did way more than them damn diamonds did, but she's a villain. She's the ultimate villain of the story. That's why I'm like, this story is all about perspective, because it's like, what the fuck? Y'all don't see that? Y'all don't see that? Y'all don't see that? That's what blew me the most about this. They just forgot all her goodness, forgot everything she's done, and all of a sudden she's labeled as a horrible person. And the thing was, it's not that she wasn't labeled like that already. The people on Homeland, the gems on Homeland, viewed her as a traitor, as somebody who was horrible. They had all these horrible stories about her. And now the people she held close in regard, the people that she loved and cherished, the people that she changed for, even more so because she saw the light in them, view her that way too. That would suck if I was Rose. I would be so pissed off. I would be rolling over in the shadow realm, or the shattered realm that she's in. And I really wish like they brought her back in some way and just let her have fun, because if everybody else can come back, she could damn sure come back. But Steven is her guy. But yeah, that just blows me. I'm like, Steven, there's no way. Lapis Lazuli, oh, I hate her. I'm sorry, she's do too damn much. But I understand like where she's coming from, of course. But he always kept going back to Lapis Lazuli every single time she hurt somebody. She did it with intention. You know how many times she said, I'm sorry? It got to the point where I didn't believe her. I did not believe that girl no more. But he forgave her. He showed patience and grace. What? Andy? I'm pretty sure he wears an MAGA hat. But he like this with him. Pink Diamond can't be afforded that. And that's why it's hell to be a leader. It's hell to be idolized. It's a heavy burden, because even after every single thing you do, if you make one mistake, oh, it's over. And I feel like that can be a lesson too. Like, stop beating yourself up for mistakes you've made, especially if you're changing and growing and you're stopping it. I think people need to understand, especially Steven, that she was an alien. She was doing her best, and sometimes your best is not enough, right? But it ain't so damn horrible that she gets to be thrown under the bus. But her three sisters, who literally still probably have some biases and who still was horrible, get to kiki with you. If I was his mom, boy, I'll turn my back. Like, are you kidding me? That was crazy. That was crazy. So that's why I'm a Rose philanthropist. I'm a Rose sympathizer. But not all the way, because again, I can see that nuance. I can see that balance, right? And a lot of people did not want to see it when it came out. Me personally, when it first came out, I was like, get off Rose back, right? I was definitely on Rose side completely, even though I seen like what has happened through things, and I was like, oh, that's fucked up. I was like, on Rose side, leave it alone. But now I'm like, nuance, perspective, relax, because y'all losing it. Y'all losing the fuck out of it. Like, especially when, like, for example, Amethyst and Greg, what the fuck y'all was doing in that truck? Why the fuck were y'all shape-shifting and kissing and probably doing even more? Because Rose left. Simply because Rose left. Like, literally, none of them are perfect. And that's beautiful. And I feel like it should have came to that conclusion where, like, okay, she's not perfect, and that's amazing. I'm glad to know that. And in some ways they did, right? Because I do remember an episode where it was like, oh, Rose isn't perfect. I like that. Keep it there. Relax. Release her. Let her go. But yeah, it's just a lot with this. I feel like one of the other things that I want to talk about is Sadie and Lars. I hate Lars with everything in me. Sadie was blowing me. Lars said, you're a nerd and you're a nut, and then left you out in the cold for 7+ hours, and you fell in love with him. Sadie, what's going on at home? And Barb was a lovely woman. Barb loved her down. Why are you loving Lars. And then Lars, when he went on that trip and he saw, when he was stuck in space and he saw Sadie having fun, he got jealous, and Sadie wants that. We gotta speak to Sadie. We gotta have a conversation with Sadie. She was blowing me. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the video on my thoughts and perspective of Rose Quartz. I'm gonna be finishing Steven Universe today and the movie to see what other thoughts that I have. But that's literally what I think about this whole thing. Like, this is such a great story, and people just be like, either they love the fuck out of her or they hate her, and I'm just right here. I'm right in the middle. Because yes, people make mistakes, yes, people fuck up, but when we acknowledge their change, we make sure that they never go back there, right? Because if you keep holding up something over someone's head and they've trying to grow and they've tried to change, you're making it harder, not only for yourself, but for them to break free, right? And I know in Steven Universe, he's trying to work through that, even though it's been a couple of years. I just think they need therapists, right? Because they need to work through it the right way. Instead of trying to get rid of her and label her a villain and blame everything on her, like, take some responsibility. Take some responsibility. Y'all thousands of years old. Why are y'all blaming Rose Quartz? Break it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you like it. Let me know in the comments down below what other videos you'd like to see from me. Okay? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, loves.